I love hearing the testimonies of other Christians because I strongly believe that when we hear how God brought someone out of something, especially something we can relate to, it serves as a motivation for us to know that if God can do it for them, He can do it for us too. Now, I wish my testimony was so simple. My testimony isn't a one and done situation. My testimony spans over a series of maybe 8 years, starting from when God called me out of the Roman Catholic Church in 2015, down to God saving me from false doctrine and false teachers, from witchcraft, time and time again, down to me getting my first and real deliverance through Pastor Chris of Lighthouse Incorporated. It goes to God opening my eyes and bringing me into the prophetic. It goes into God helping me to raise a standard for myself. And finally, God bringing me to the point where I decided to follow Jesus and to dedicate my life to actually doing the work of God. I know a lot of people who knew me before I came to God probably look at me as, your life wasn't as bad as you're making it out to be. Oh, but it was, because I was a slave to sin. And even though by the world standards I wasn't this horrible person, sin is sin. And I was still a sinner, and I was held captive by my sin. I loved my sin more than I loved God.
That you had never done the things that have brought in this vision was that the people taken.
So as you can see, time and time again, I found myself in points where I validated my self-worth and who I was by my body and those who accepted me rather than what my father thought of me. Time and time again, I succumbed to my anger and I allowed the opinions of others to outweigh who God said I was. Time and time again, I lied. Time and time again, I dishonored my parents. Time and time again, I broke all the commandments that the Lord set forth. I hated. I hated so much. I could not forgive. And it was a terrible state to be in. But by the grace of God, He brought me out. He saved me. And because I know that God did it for me, I have full faith that God can do it for you. Nothing is too hard for God to do, and God can definitely save you. I urge you today, if you've come across this video, to really consider a life of repentance, meaning turning away from your sin and following Jesus Christ. There is so much freedom here. Come on the winning team. Be blessed.